Assemblymember Fong, thanks for agreeing to meet up with Asians.com. So I'd like to spend a few minutes with you talking about the recent shark fin soup bill that you've introduced. I was wondering what initially got you interested in this particular issue.
Shark's fin ban. I watched the video, and I watched them remove the fins and throw the bodies of the sharks back in the water. I said, that's a horrific practice. I mean, that's horrible what they're doing to the sharks. And actually, I've got some scientific report from scientists that they're doing this to 73 million sharks every year, and they're depleting the shark population by finning, by removing the fins and throwing the bodies back into the water while they sink to the bottom, or they suffocate and they die eventually, or get eaten by other animals in the sea. I found that to be a very horrific practice, and I found out that if the shark, the top food predator, goes, the ocean can go too, because it's the ocean's ecosystem that goes off into an imbalance when the top food predator is eliminated, because they keep the healthy balance of the sea. And so there was two unhealthy things that went on, and of course I discovered that shark's fin soup has high mercury content because of the time that they're in the ocean, and of course it's unhealthy to eat. And so because of the three unhealthy aspects of shark finning and shark's fin soup, I decided to do something about it. And I looked at it. I thought at first maybe just to ban the endangered species, the fins from the endangered species, but it's too difficult to tell the difference between the endangered species and the non-endangered species. You have to do a DNA test. So I introduced a complete ban on shark's fin.
Sure. No, I was surprised also to find out just the sheer number that are killed every year. I mean, if you thought maybe 1 or 2 million or what have you, but like 70 or 100 million, that's kind of a crazy number when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, they're near extinction right now, and they will be extinct by the end of my lifetime. And of course, when there's no more sharks in it, the top food predator goes, and then there'll be an overabundance of other fishes, and it'll throw the whole ocean ecosystem off balance,
Right.
out of balance.
Right. So, have you had shark fin soup in the past? I mean, do you actually like the soup?
Yeah, I grew up on it. Actually, I had it until 2 years ago when I discovered the finning operation, and I quit drinking it, eating it. I've had it. I like the taste of it. It's a soup base. It's a chicken soup base, and they actually have that soup base with other ingredients too, like chicken and sprouts and other things. And it's the soup base that tastes good. The shark's fin has no taste to it. It's just the cartilage.
Right.
Yeah,
it's the
gelatin.
texture or consistency
Yeah.
that I guess people really kind of like, along with the soup base.
Right,
That
it's the
kinda
texture of
makes-
it, but it's most of the soup base that tastes good, and I've had it in the past.
Sure.
But I quit.
Well, personally, I've only really had it at like wedding banquets, and so it always seems to me that people like to order it because, at a fancy wedding banquet, Chinese like to show that they're spending a lot of money and
Right.
that they're prosperous and that they're not cheap and stuff. So
Yeah, it's a sign of affluence. It
Right.
shows the affluence, and it shows the guests that they're willing to share that affluence with them, and that's a sign of respect for your guest. But it's a sign of disrespect for the sharks and the ocean's ecosystem.
Sure. So when you're thinking about putting this bill together, were there any concerns that you had, considering what kind of backlash or reaction you would have?
I had to think deep into my ethnic Chinese roots. I had to say, why am I doing this? And my ethnic roots was overruled by my environmental consciousness. My environmental consciousness that you have to do it. It's the right thing to do. And so I had some internal issues to deal with to make sure that I was going forward and doing the right thing. And I've dealt with it, and I realized it's the right thing to do. We used to bind women's feet as a culture. That was unhealthy for the woman, and we stopped doing that. And so this is unhealthy for the sharks in our ocean's ecosystem. It's unhealthy to consumers to eat. And so anything unhealthy, we as a culture should eliminate it.
Right. No, I totally agree. And so, what's been the reaction from your constituents so far?
Overwhelmingly supportive. I've had some older ethnic Chinese mention, you shouldn't carry this bill because you're Chinese, American.
Right.
Um,
Well, I think that's the perfect example for you to introduce the bill, right? I mean, it's
Actually,
sort of
that
like,
is the reason why I think I'm the person to do it, because of my ethnicity, being
Right.
Chinese American, and it's a wrong practice.
sure. So would you say it's more generational than, let's say, Asian versus non-Asian in terms of the reaction to the bill?
Um, I think I have about 100% of my responses are supportive of the bill. 100% of the people that responded to me are supportive. I have not had one opposition, except for Leland Yee, Senator Yee.
Right. And why do you think that is? I mean, do you think because he's running for mayor, or because he thinks this is, as I think I quote him, an attack on Chinese or Asian culture?
I think it's because he likes shark's fin soup. He just likes it.
Right.
And he don't
right.
believe in eliminating it from the menu. And of course, that's his opinion. But he does support banning the endangered species.
Sure.
And you
sure.
can't tell the difference between the endangered fins and the
Right.
non-endangered fins.
Well, there's, I guess, the theoretical ban and then the actual practical ban.
Right.
And I think the analogy towards banning, I think, ivory is kind of the best analogy that I've heard.
Yes, yeah. The elephant population stabilized after we banned ivory. The tiger claws also, the tiger stabilized after we banned that. And so bans do work.
Sure, sure. So, what's the, I guess, timeline of this? Is this bill? Has it been already officially introduced?
It's been officially introduced. We have a legal language from the legal counsel already. It's going to go before the Assembly Water Parks and Wildlife Subcommittee, which I serve on. I don't think I have any problems with that. And then it's going to go to the Assembly floor. Then we vote on it in the Assembly floor. Once it passes the Assembly floor, then it goes over to the Senate side. It goes through the same process. It goes through a subcommittee in the Senate, and then it goes to the Senate floor for a vote, and it comes back to the Assembly for reoccurrence. And then after we vote on reoccurrence on the bill, then we forward it to the governor, subject to it getting 41 votes
Sure.
in the Assembly and 21 votes in the Senate.
So, is this something that we'll see being voted on by the summertime or by the fall? Is there
By
any
the summer, by the summer,
summer?
it'll be voted on.
Okay. And then, for those who are interested in supporting your efforts, so is there anything that they can do?
Yeah, they could write to all the legislators and the governor in support of the ban for shark's fin, talk about the cruelty aspects and how our ocean's ecosystem is affected. Just, it's general knowledge now, and you just advocate in support of the ban on shark's fin.
Sure, sure. Terrific. And I guess one last final question. I think the thing that most Californians are concerned about is the budget right now, and just wondering how, if this bill in any way has, I guess, distracted or just affected your work on, obviously, the budget.
No, it hasn't. I'm still focused on the budget. We have to. It's 24/7. It's a job. It's part of my 20 bill package. It's one of my bills. I spent equal time on the bills, although I'm spending a little bit more time on answering questions for the shark's fin ban bill.
Sure, sure.
But I'm still devoting a lot of time on the budget. I have to report to my constituents of what's happening with the budget. There's $25.4 billion worth of deficit that we have to deal with. Hopefully, we'll get the revenue package voted on and allow the voters to vote for the extension of the tax increases.
Okay, terrific. Well, good luck on passing the bill. I really appreciate your time and your efforts for this ban.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you for having me on your show.